Let's take a look at example number 6 on linear functions, which again will be assignment number 19, which again you have found we have uploaded to you. All right, so here we go again. They gave us two ordered pairs and they want the equation of the line that passes through those 2 points. Equations of lines, y equals mx plus c. Our template, y equals blank x plus blank. All right, so, oh look, they gave us two ordered pairs. They gave us x1, y1, and x2, y2. Again, hit pause whenever you need to write these down. I hope you're kind of working them along with me like we would, in class, like we're all here together, right? I miss you. Okay, so anyway, the slope, by definition, assignment 18, would be y2, negative 5, minus y1, minus negative, that becomes plus. Be very careful with that. Minus followed by a negative number becomes plus, and then x2 minus x1, which would be 12 minus 8. All right, so the numerator is 0, how interesting, and 12 minus 8 is 4. And then all the time I'm asked by people, I always get mixed up when there's a 0 in a fraction. I just don't have any idea what that would equal there, Mr. Soy Sauce. What is 0 divided by 4? That always messes me up. I want your brain to know. I hope your brain knows. But you know what? Notice I'm holding a calculator. People all the time walk up to me, what is 0 divided by 4? I have no idea, and they're holding a calculator. 0 divided by 4 equals 0. All right? Again, my hope would be that you would know that. But if your brain's having a bad day, there you go. Put it in. So 0 divided by 4 is 0. So our slope is 0 here. Remember, this is our template for the equation that they wanted us to build. All right, how do you find b? I would just jump down here. I've left this up here for every question from now on. We just figured out that the slope is 0. Where do we get a pair of numbers for x and y? Pick one. Let's go with this one. All right, so x is 12. And y would be negative 5, and we're looking for b. Just like every other question to this point, watch them in sequence, it helps. And 0 times 12 is 0, so b would equal negative 5, wouldn't it? So b, which goes here, and that there blank, is negative 5, and there's our equation. Now you notice this time I put the work outside the box because I knew this was going to happen. It really doesn't make sense to put y equals 0x plus negative 5. To me, the cleanest version of that equation would be simply y equals negative 5. Who needs the 0x and the plus negative becomes minus? So y equals negative 5 would be, to me, the cleanest way of expressing this equation. And so, all right, let's go after it. As far as graphing, we find our y-intercept by plugging 0 in for x. Now, if you had this equation in front of you, I hope you would say, there ain't no x there for me to put the 0 in. Fine. Then y would equal negative 5 anyway, wouldn't it? See, y is always going to equal negative 5 no matter what we plug in for x, because that equation doesn't have x in it, basically. So the ordered pair is 0, negative 5. 0 on the x-axis right here in the middle horizontally, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5 on the y-axis. My scale's not real good here. This is my dilemma, squeezing these graphs in here. All right, appreciate your patience. I'd love to have that board over there off screen to do this graph bigger. All right, but you can handle it, I hope. All right, if this equation was given to you, you would hopefully say, well, the slope is the coefficient of x, and since there's not an x in the equation, wouldn't that slope be 0? And, as we wrote back here. So the slope is 0. Now, how do you interpret a slope of 0? It's one of those special types we talked about. In my opinion, rise over run, couldn't you call that 0 over 1? Or 0 over your favorite number, for that matter. I'm trying to use logic to figure this out. But from that beginning point, wouldn't we rise 0, which means we don't go up or down at all, and we would run 1. And so if we rise 0 and run 1, our secondary point would be right next to the original one. And yes, indeed, that is that scenario where it's a horizontal line. But again, I'm not a big believer in memorizing that would be a horizontal line. 0 over 1. Rise 0, run 1. There you go. Horizontal. That's done. Okay? So I think we handled that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention before moving onward, and I don't believe so. So that takes care of example number 6. All right. Yeah, see you in a few.